Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I react to my third and final scary story channel for you all. And this one's Nightmare Files. And the video that I'll be reacting to is the disturbing cases of the Tylenol murders. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag, shall we? Okay, here we go.
Five people are now dead, one in critical condition after taking extra-strength Tylenol. Bottles of the pills with the serial number MC2880 are being recalled.
The search for Tylenol suspect James Lewis zeroes in on New York City, where authorities say Lewis and his wife were spotted less than a week ago.
Extra-strength Tylenol capsules laced with a cyanide are linked with 5 deaths in Chicago.
Callers had heard news that cyanide-contaminated Tylenol capsules had killed 6 people in Chicago.
I would like to know how on earth were these Tylenol pills being laced with cyanide? Like, were there disgruntled workers at the factory that did that, or were these people going into the stores and somehow sneaking, lacing them? I mean, I don't know. But let's just see what Nightmare Files talks about this case.
Authorities suspect sabotage.
Let's go back to 1982.
Okay.
In Chicago, Illinois, where the Tylenol murders first started. And then we'll get into the copycats. On September 29th, 1982, Mary Kellerman, a 12-year-old, died after taking a capsule of extra-strength Tylenol. Immediately following her death, Adam Janus died after taking Tylenol, along with his brother Stanley and wife, who also died from taking Tylenol from the same bottle. Within the next few days, Mary McFarland, along with Paula Prince and Mary Rayner, died from taking Tylenol. Once it was realized that all these people had recently taken it, tests were carried out that discovered cyanide in the Tylenol bottles. Warnings were issued through media outlets and patrols using loudspeakers warning residents throughout the Chicago area to not take Tylenol products. Being that the Tylenol bottles were tampered with, the police ruled out the manufacturers.
Okay, they ruled them out, but I still would like to know, how were they tampered with?
The 7 deaths all happened in the Chicago area, so this had nothing to do with the production. Police believe that this was one person who was committing these crimes, so the source had to be most likely supermarkets and drugstores over a period of weeks. Whoever the person was have to have added the cyanide and placed the bottles throughout the stores and areas. In addition, the 5 bottles that led to the victims' deaths, 3 other tampered with bottles were later discovered.
Oh, that's how they did it. Have vials of these Tylenol pills and then lace each one of them and then put them back in the box and place them in these supermarkets and drugstores just so helpless people would pick them up and when they need them and then ultimately go away from this earth quickly. Man, that is one sick SOB for doing that. Come up with a scheme like this.
On October 5th, 1982, a nationwide recall of Tylenol products was issued. It was determined that only the capsules in the Chicago area were tampered with. Johnson & Johnson offered to exchange all Tylenol capsules already purchased by the public for solid tablets. Hundreds of similar attacks involving Tylenol, over-the-counter medications, and other products also took place around the United States right after the Chicago deaths. 3 more deaths occurred in 1986 from tampered gelatin capsules, 1 in New York, and 2 in Washington from cyanide poisoning. An arrest was made for the Washington murders of Stella Nicker. A man named James William Lewis sent a letter to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million or else he won't stop the Tylenol murders. Eventually, he was arrested and sent to prison for extortion, but not the Tylenol murders due to the lack of evidence.
First of all, somebody or several people see on the news that people are dying from poisoned Tylenol products, they immediately try to replicate the same thing in their city. But then someone literally had to write to Johnson & Johnson saying they will stop the whole series of tampered Tylenol murders. unless they give him $1 million and that he ain't the killer. Just somebody trying to get a little bit of publicity, probably. Or he was really desperate for cash. But that ain't the way to do it. Now your butt is in jail for doing that.
In 1983, an employee to fish out the killer, the FBI, with the permission of Mary Kellerman's family, let the public know the location of her gravesite, thinking that the killer will visit the gravesite of their victim. In early 2009, the investigation was reopened due to the anniversary, and the investigators relying on the advancement of technology to help with the case. James Lewis was investigated again, with him and his wife providing DNA in 2010. Even a Unabomber was investigated, but nothing came out of that. As of now, is it too late to solve this case? Will the murderer strike again? Or has he or she committed crimes again, and we never connected the dots? This leaves us all with questions. Mine is, will it happen again?
Oh man, I hope not. Because all this was back in like the 80s, right? But you never know if that one killer will strike again or copycats will try to do it once more. But knock on wood, it don't. But I hope and pray that modern science can figure out who did this and finally get them behind bars before they do try to strike again. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications for more Nightmare Files content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Sport Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I say this is a wrap, and that's the day.